This is Kenny's 1963 Belvedere. By no means a top-of-the-line car when new. In fact, these cars were usually stripped down for the lightest weight with big engines. That often meant radio delete, heater delete, in fact, just about all amenities delete. Here's Kenny with more.
Lightweight, max wedge cars back in the day. They used to race them all over the tracks and everything. Most of them had multi-stripes going every which way on these cars, the old candy stripes and Color Me Gone, all those cool race cars, yeah. So I wanted one that I could go for a coffee in, just around town.
Well, you've certainly done a lot of work on this car, but it's not the original motor.
No, it's a 50s engine, 60s car, 1956 engine out of the Chrysler 300 Model B and C series with the triple nickel castings, and did a lot of upgrades. Ralph Cooper built the engine with another engine builder, and he upgraded the water pump style, the oil pump style, to get us back into the new millennium. So it runs on pump gas, but I have to put a lead additive because there's no hardened seats for the valve, so that's just to protect the motor. Doesn't really need it for the octane so much, it needs it for the protection of the valves.
What do you run, 91, 94?
Yeah, I run the 94 and I run a C16 race fuel just to get the lead content way up on the fuel itself, yeah.
Not a lot of room between the engine and the inner wheel well to allow for torque.
No, you almost got to take the valve cover off to change the shocks, and headers almost touch the steering box, and the distributor, which is actually about half an inch from the firewall. So I had to make everything solid mount, and that's just so that nothing can move and touch anywhere because everything's so close. Jim Pollier helped me out a lot, setting the motor in place and making the mounts, and that was quite a challenge. We had like good 2 weeks just making everything just so that we're happy where the motor sat, to get the right angle for the drive shaft to the rear end, and be able to get everything in there that we took off the engine bearer to get it in there to put everything back on. So it was quite the challenge. Probably one of the most challenging motors I've ever had to put in a car.
That's quite a task. There's hardly any clearance. How's that solid mount working out for you?
The whole car just shakes. There's no rubber mounts, nothing at all. Yeah.
And how does it drive?
It drives really nice. It rides really good. It's just everything rattles and noisy, and it's just like a race car, but it isn't a race car.
You don't see many of these 63 Belvederes, at least on the street.
Very, very rare. A lot on the drag strip, but not too many running around town anymore. And it's a big car in today's market. You know, this was a mid-size car, supposedly. This is the same chassis as like a 68 Charger or 70 Roadrunner. 63 to 70 were all the same chassis. But being that it's a Plymouth, everybody thinks it's a big car, but if you put a 68 Charger right next to it, it's the exact same car underneath.
A lot of work has obviously gone into this car. Give us a little more history on the engine and the car.
671 supercharger. It makes lots of noise and humming and whining. I've got electric dumps if I want to make more noise. It opens the exhaust right up at the headers. And our local exhaust guide, Rob Wade, he did the exhaust system from the header to my 3-inch exhaust with the dumps. He made like a 3-inch piece for me. It turned out awesome. He did a great job. And I always wanted a Hemi. And I was going to put it in a 40 Ford that I had, and then I figured out I had to cut so much out of the firewall I was going to destroy the car. So I put a small block Chevy in that, sold that car to another friend, and then so now I got the Hemi sitting there. And I got an automatic done because I figured it was all going together in the 40 Ford, and that just got stopped. It was just like, I can't wreck this car. So I said, I got to find something to put the motor in. So a friend of mine had advertised this car for sale, and he actually had a motor in it running and everything else. So I bought just the body shell. I said, I don't want anything, your rad, your headers, the motor, the trans, I don't want anything. I just want the body shell. So he took everything out of his car because he had another car he's building that he could use it in. So it worked out for both of us. And yeah, and then it was trying to get that motor to fit in this big car, which was still a challenge.
And what about the transmission?
The transmission, Danny's Transmission did it. It's a 68 style 727 trans, and it's got a 3800 Street Fighter nitrous converter in it. So it's real slippy. It's like you're sidestepping your clutch at 4,000 RPM. So it's fun. It's snappy. So you can just put it in drive and go, or you can shift it manually. It goes like hell.
Tell us about the interior.
Interior needs to be done. I'm going to do that this winter in a disc brake conversion because it doesn't have enough brake to stop the car. It's a lot heavier now with the Hemi in it in the front end, so I want to put a better brake system in the front. So like similar to what the Chargers had in 68, 69. So I'm taking a early 60s car and I'm bringing it up into the later 60s safer.
Here's a look at the clean but simple trunk. Kenny is getting quite a car collection.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this was car number 167 I've owned and built, and I'm not done yet. I'm actually enjoying it still, so I got a few more I want to do. I don't even know what I want next, but I'm going to finish this one first, which is probably another couple months. I've totally restored the whole undercarriage of the car. It's all painted base clear underneath, new gas tank lines, brand new floor pan. So it's beautiful underneath. The outside of the car I'm not happy with. It was a previous paint job from the last gentleman. So I'm going to block this out and repaint it and do the interior, upgrade the brakes, and then I'll be looking for my next project.
Next project will probably happen sometime this spring. We wish Kenny well. These are great stories, and best of all, they're all local cars and owners. Guys like you and me who start with little or nothing and turn it into something great. Thanks, Kenny, and thank you for viewing. Come next spring, we'll see you at the car shows and cruise lines.